onefootflipper.
Hi, Paige here, the 1 Foot Flipper. It's Sunday, about noon. Our topic today is going to be how to save money on shipping costs. But before we get into that, let's go through a few basics. Recently hit 4,000 subscribers, and I plan on doing a 4,000 subscriber Q&A and prize giveaway. If you have any questions for that, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I'm going to wait a few videos before I actually do it, so I have a lot of questions to choose from. And the winner of the contest will be randomly chosen from among the questions that appear in the video. You can go ahead and get spicy with the questions too. They don't have to be about eBay. They can be about pretty much anything. Worst thing that happens is that I don't use the question. I mean, somebody already asked, why are you so fat? So, you know, it's out there. Otherwise, could y'all do me a favor? I can't watch everybody in the world, but I do love to know when some other YouTuber mentions me. If you ever see that, please post that in the comments so I can at least watch their video and see what they said, and maybe I'll become a new fan. Who knows? Maybe I'm already a fan and I just didn't catch the video. Otherwise, everything's going pretty good with eBay. Other than I did get a return request today. Derek thinks his Marvel superhero card was damaged in shipping, and thus and also claimed that I sent it with no protection, which isn't, that part definitely not true. And he posted a picture of the card, which is completely undamaged, but just isn't pristine mint. Not that that was promised or given in any way. It's the same card he bought. You get this a lot with, surprisingly not baseball cards. I've never had a baseball card returned, but I get this with Pokemon cards and with superhero cards, that the customer gets the card and they say, oh my goodness, this card isn't pristine mint. Oh no, this worthless card will never be valuable. And it was never going to be valuable anyway. I had two options there. I could have actually just filed a claim with the free insurance that eBay puts on those standard envelopes. But since he was a jerk and lied about it, I'm like, nope, Derek has to return this card. I don't care about the $4. Derek's got to return this card. So I accepted the return. Let's see if he sends it back. All right, now let's get into our topic, saving money on shipping. The first thing is, do not offer your customers different shipping options at all. All that does is puts them in control of a situation and can cost you more money. You really need the customer selecting FedEx on that day when you have nobody else you have nothing else going FedEx. Now you got to call a FedEx pick it up in or go to FedEx to ship that item out. And the customers who select faster shipping items or expedited shipping, they're going to cost you more money in final value fees. And those customers, historically, from my experience, are a much higher problem rate. They have for one thing, they start that clock on that expedited shipping the second, in their head, they start that clock the second they put that order in. Not at the end of your handling time. If they pick 2-day air and they order it Friday night, they expect it there Sunday morning. Even if your handling time says you wouldn't even ship it till Wednesday. Those customers are going to have more returns, and you're going to have more cases of fraud with those customers, because you know who else doesn't care how much they're paying for shipping? People who aren't paying for it with their own money. So don't give them options at all. Look at a couple of sales. I sold the Hardy Boys, the Tower Treasure, 1959. Had $1 in this, sold for $5.09. Sold these jumbo foam polyhedral dice, $22.49 for the set. And there is one tiny normal D6 in there, because I put that in the picture to show how big the dice are, and then I just included it with it, so there could be no confusion. All right, next thing you're going to do to save your money on your shipping is, when you go to ship something, you want to check your rates on both eBay and Pirate Ship. And you're going to get to know what different rates look like. Like right now at the moment, if I go to ship something priority and I check on eBay and it says $7.20, it is not going to be any cheaper on Pirate Ship. I don't need to go there. It's not even going to be any cheaper with cubic shipping. So in that case, I just put it on eBay. But if I don't know, I check both. Because sometimes, especially the larger the packages or the heavier the packages, the rates can be all over the place. And also, even if you're normal shipping priority, check the rates for Parcel Select anyway. Because oftentimes, if it's a close area or you have a lot of handling time baked in, you can save money on Parcel Select and still get that package there the same day the customer expected it. All right, the next thing I sold is $219 worth of science fiction airplanes for the Warhammer Aeronautica Imperialis game. They only made this game for a year or two before they dropped support for it, and I got $219 for these 3 trays of planes. All to the same customer. Now, you might want to ask, am I going to refund that customer any shipping money? I don't know. You know how I'll find out if I'm going to? I'm going to go look in my listing and see if I said anything about that. Sometimes with things like those planes, or I've got a lot of train parts, I will put in the listing that if you buy more than one, I will refund any excess shipping you pay over my costs. And if I've got that on the listing, I will refund down to my penny of cost, including the eBay fees and whatever I might pay for a box, but I'll refund that. If I don't have that on the listing, I'm not refunding anything because nothing was expected or promised there. You see YouTubers giving people refunds a lot for 2 reasons. 1, they don't want to look bad. And number 2, these are often viewer sales where the viewer is buying multiple unrelated items in which the person had no sort of combined shipping set up. Because it's actually rare for a customer to buy 2 completely unrelated items in one transaction unless they were a viewer or a fan. It happens to me like once a year at best. All right, your next thing you want to get used to doing is cutting down boxes to get those cubic rates on those heavier things. You can get those cubic rates with Pirate Ship. They were talking about bringing cubic rates to eBay, but I haven't seen it. I don't know when they're ever going to roll that out. But you don't even have to cut the box down in advance, too. You can kind of check it when you're checking your rates. Put in the rate for the box that you're about to put it in. Then figure out how much smaller you can make that box. Check that price, too. Sometimes it'll matter a lot. Sometimes it won't matter one bit. But it's worth checking because it can save you a lot of money, especially over time. What else did I sell here? I sold a 1-pound bag of board game pieces. This is Scrabble pieces, Upward pieces, Triomino pieces. I named it Board Game Piece Lot for Crafting Scrabble Upwards Triomino Sensory 1 pound 809. And then in the description it says very clearly that bagged up it's going to be a fraction of an ounce under 1 pound, so it can go first class. And this is really a bunch of board game pieces when I was collecting board game pieces to sell individually. When I decided to stop doing that, that's leftovers from that. Sold this rubber stamp, $3.99, Mickey and Minnie. My stamps are all on the profit, but I don't plan on ever buying any more. Oh, apparently I stuck a bunch of sales into this segment here. 3 packs of Lucky Strike fishing worms, $3.89. I forgot where I got those. Maximum Carnage for the Sega Genesis, black, bad label, $12.99. All right, your number 4 thing is ultimately know how you're going to be shipping that item before you package it. Specifically, you don't want to package something up in a priority box and then be all done and find out that UPS is $4 cheaper. Then you're pulling that thing out of the box and redoing the entire thing. Figure that out before you package the item. This saves you money in 2 ways. First, it saves you time. Your time is your money. And second, it saves you those times where you'll say, oh, I don't have time, it's not worth it, I'm not going to rebox it, and then you lose that money by sending it priority instead of UPS. And that can matter over time. That can be hundreds of dollars a year saved. Let's see. I sold these Salad Made food processor replacement cone sets. $6 for the set of 5. I don't think I'm going to keep sourcing these. I don't make much on them. For some reason, sometimes they end up weighing more than I thought they did. I don't know how I keep making that mistake, but I do. So that's probably the last of those you're going to see me ever buy. Also sold a vintage blender, Galaxy Osterizer, $13.49. It's also just on the edge of the not worth it area. I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. Sells for $13.49. Once you got fees, I probably made $8 on it. It's big, sat on a shelf for a long time. It's going to take a long time to pack. Probably wasn't worth it. Your fifth thing you're going to want to do is to have the right variety of supplies on hand for you, so you're not wasting money constantly using more expensive packaging than you need to use, or you're not wasting time, which is also money, to package things creatively because you don't have the right packaging for you. And sometimes you're going to have to make some decisions in this route. Like, I buy long 4x4 boxes, but I only buy them in 48-inch size because I just don't use them often enough to buy both the 36-inch size and the 48-inch size. So I buy the 48-inch size, and I cut them down to fit golf clubs, bats, anything long, and then a lot of times that leaves me with a little short box left over. I keep record boxes in stock all the time. When you buy them 100 at a time on Amazon, they're only about 75 cents each, and there are so many things they are good for shipping other than records, and I can't ship a record just in plain cardboard safely once I account for my time as fast as I could just put in that record box. And I also use that record box for some valuable books, for other flat, easy-to-bend things. They are very useful. Then you want to keep poly mailers in different sizes around as well, because they're cheap, and they can also get you through situations where you might not have the right box. If I were to sell this hockey puck and I didn't have a appropriate size small box, I could wrap this in some bubble wrap, several good layers, put that in a poly bag, and send that right off. But beware, don't send big Tupperware pieces in poly bags. They will just get smashed. Sold this Aces High War in the Air board game, $16.19. I've had this since last August, so it went through several markdowns before it finally sold. This, however, was in the store less than a day. 10,000 Maniacs in My Tribe, $27.99. This is a very high-grade record, and it's a record that came out after records were no longer the primary format. I believe that came out in 87 or 88. At that point, CDs were very much around, and tapes were super common because people wanted to play them in their cars, and unless you're Elvis, you don't have a record player in your car. All right, sixth thing is, you get all done. A package is 1 ounce over. What do? I rip it back open and I find that 1 ounce somewhere. I will change the packing material I use. I will cut an ounce of cardboard out of the box somehow, as long as it's not really wasting my time, because I will check to see what the difference it makes. If it's 60 cents, I leave it alone. But sometimes it's that 1 ounce costs you $2, $3. I will find that ounce, cut it out, tape it back up, and send it out at the cheaper rate. I sold a whole bunch of plastic sprues for model tanks. These are for the very small ones, but it's all the wheels and treads. Sometimes you get weird things like this when you buy collections of stuff, and you're never going to find comps for an item like that, so you just kind of got to look at it and ballpark it. I put $10 up on it. I think it took 3 months to sell, so that's about right. I definitely didn't underprice it. Normally I don't like price guessing, but sometimes you just have to, because there's never going to be a comp on that. I sold this empty game box for the Sega Saturn Battle Monsters. I don't like empty game boxes, but this one was worth $8.99 all on its own, so I sold it anyway. Your number 7 thing you're going to want to do, some of this seems like common sense, but reuse boxes, collect free boxes, and try to find repeat sources for small boxes. I can find big boxes for free easily. I mean, if anything else, you know, you can go dumpster dive behind many a store and get big boxes constantly. But try to find people you know who are constantly throwing away small boxes and get them to save them for you. I've got 2 different people who saved me 2 different sizes of small boxes, and that saves me a fortune in the long run, which will help make up for the fact that I sell things like this. 1920 Dear Old Dixie sheet music, $2.69. Now, whenever I sell a piece of sheet music like that, I message the buyer telling them that I will, if they want any other sheet music, I will refund the shipping on any more sheet music they buy, because I can ship a basically unlimited amount for the same amount of money. Oftentimes they'll buy more. This customer did not. I either ship those in a record box, I fold cardboard over, or sometimes if I have a LP sleeve, outer sleeve, and I don't have the album to it, I'll ship it in that. But, yeah. All right, and your number 8 thing you want to do is set up to run all your shipping costs through a cashback credit card. I probably spend $20,000 a year in shipping. If I get 3% back on that, what is that, $600? And that's $600 tax-free money. That is nothing to sneeze at all. And imagine long term. Do that for 10 years. That's $6,000. That's a decent used car. That's a vacation. That's a new shed in your backyard. I mean, not like some of the sheds you've seen, but it's something. And finally, I sold $236 worth of G-Scale model train track, all to the same customer. Now, in that case, I will be sending them a shipping refund, because in my description for my train components, I say that if you buy multiple train components together, I will ship them together and refund everything past my cost. All right, I think that's about all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe. Tell your neighbor's cousin's boyfriend about this channel, and hope to see you again soon.